boxing live in the UK. Of course, there's no boxing cards on July 5th in the USA. Everyone's still recovering from their July 4th festivities, I assume. We are watching the co-main event here. It's taking place in Manchester. The main event is Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank. That's the fight I'm interested in. I am a fan of Jack Catterall. Hey, Jesus, good to see you. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us. Right now, this fight is about to start. It is Joe Cordina versus Gonzalez. Hopefully I said his first name correctly. He's fighting out of Monterrey, which is province in Mexico. So here we go. Jesus says, why is Harlem taking a big risk so soon in his career? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe he's thinking, since Jack is moving up, that it's less of a risk. I don't know. He gets to be the main event. Maybe that's another plus. And maybe he just wants that shine, as they say. All right. In this co-main, it's scheduled for 10 rounds. We have Joe Cordina and Garrett Gonzalez. They're both fighting out of orthodox stance. Gonzalez is that classic sort of lanky build. He's in fact moving around on the outside as one would expect. Cordina has a little more of that sort of athletic build, so he's not either long and lanky, and he's not short and squat either. He's got that nice sort of middle of the road build with good musculature. Right now, Gonzalez mostly fighting out of a high double guard. Oh, Cordina just landed a nice one too. Cordina kind of alternates between high double and a little more of a shell guard. Nice, sharp, hard jabs by Cordina, and they fall into a clinch. Hi, War Thunderboy. Good to see you. Opa. Good to see you. Oh, nice 4 or 5 punch combination by Gonzalez. Jab right, body head. Looks like there might be quite a bit of clinching and maybe a little clashing of heads in this fight. Cordina seems to like a little lean back with the half shell guard. Right now, as he comes forward with his little skip steps, he does mostly use that high double guard. And then fall into a clinch and it gets a little chippy, as the Brits like to say. So Cordina seems to be the guy that's going to press forward here, and while Gonzalez moves around the ring. Now, in the previous fight to this, they gave the fight to a fellow named Akib Fiaz. I actually thought the other guy, Alex Murphy, won the fight. On points. But the judges obviously disagreed with me. What I didn't know was Alex Murphy was a last-minute or short notice replacement for whoever Akib was originally scheduled to face. So huge props to Alex Murphy, because he came in terrific shape. Not only he fought every moment of that 10 minutes, and I thought he arguably could have been given the win. Probably if he was the promoter's fighter, they would have given it to him. But all the judges, nobody ever has to pay off a judge. It's clear who the promoter's fighter is, and they know who is supposed to win. Okay, it looks like Cordina's trainer's asking to use a little more side-to-side movement with his upper body. It's really tough to listen in to the corner work on these matchroom cards, because the background music that they're playing for the audience really drowns out the sound on the cornermen. I assume they don't mic up their cornermen for whatever reason on these matchroom productions. But in the replay, they're showing a nice jab to the body, overhand right by Cordina. Perhaps the best combination of that opening round. Now these are two lightweights. It's scheduled for 10 rounds. Hello from Russia. Thank you. Okay. Lots of clinching again. Referee's kind of warning them about rabbit punches. Oh, nice jab right hand by Gonzalez. And as soon as they close distance, like, the clinching begins. So it looks like this is going to be one of those fights where there's a lot of holding, and it gets chippy, as the Brits likes to say. Nice jab to the head, jab to the body by Cordina. Oh, nice counter body shot right in the middle by Gonzalez. So Gonzalez is traveling all the way from Mexico. He knows what his job is. He's got to come here to upset the hometown favorite, Cordina. Welcome everybody. If you're joining us for the first time, we do live streams here for boxing and MMA fights. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. Let me know your thoughts about any upcoming fights, or what you're really looking forward to in the combat sport world, whether it's UFC, other MMA productions, or boxing. All right, we have Gonzalez moving around the ring more. Cordina kind of holding the center ring. But I don't know that that's playing to Cordina's favor. I feel like he has to really try to cut Gonzalez off. And then let his punches rip to the body once they close distance, because otherwise the clinching starts. But right now Cordina is just firing off these nice single jabs. But again, now he shells up when they close distance. So that's not going to serve him well. Hello, Darbar. What are we watching? We are watching boxing. It's taking place in the UK. Were you guys able to see the thumbnail? So it should be a yellow thumbnail that says Catterall versus Eubank. I thought it was showing for the previous first part of this live, but it didn't. So just that's the reason why I'm asking you guys. Otherwise, it's just this default red thumbnail, which is not terribly helpful to viewers. It just says that I'm live, but it's, I try to make the adjustment so it says live boxing, so you guys know what you're clicking on when you click on live. All right, there we go. 2 rounds in. Gonzalez is putting up a good show as the B-side opponent being brought in. I feel like Cordina should really pick the pace up a little bit and navigate the distance a little bit better than he is. If he wants to fight on the inside, he's going to have to avoid clinching and rip off those body shots, take small steps. Are you guys all boxing fans, or are you more UFC fans, MMA fans? I guess the UFC is to MMA what Kleenex is to facial tissue, right? I feel like Gonzalez is a good test for Cordina, mainly because he's a long, lanky Mexican, so he can fight on the outside, but he certainly doesn't mind fighting on the inside. So that's a good test for Cordina's skill set. Is it Darbar? So Darbar is asking my opinion on the Tank Davis rematch. Well, first off, Roach won the first fight if he scored it correctly, which is Tank got dropped for sure. He took a knee. Now, second thing is, unfortunately for Roach, this time around, Tank, if he has his act together and if he trains properly, I believe Tank could take it. But Roach showed us that he certainly has the skill set and the game plan to beat Tank. I think he really beat Tank mentally more than anything. Right now we got Cordina moving straight back from Gonzalez's advances, and I don't really like that, but yeah, if he could do what he just tried to do there, which is start to work an angle, that'll work out a lot better for him. I like the fact that he avoided taking a wizard grip in that last little exchange. So here we go with Gonzalez weaving under these punches on the inside. So Cordina's just going to have to punch with Gonzalez on the inside. It feels messy as heck, but he can't afford to just go back and forth with Gonzalez. Nice 1-2 by Cordina. Again, he's got to cut the ring off. Gonzalez is moving to Cordina's left. Cordina has to fire off a left body shot to stop him from moving that way. Oh, nice 1-2 by Cordina. Nice double jab right hand by Cordina. But Gonzalez returns favor with some nice sharp jabs of his own. Steven's asking me short time. I don't know what you mean by that. There's less than 30 seconds left in this round. Hi guys, thank you for joining us on the live stream. If this is the first time, welcome to the first live stream with the Hamaguchi Fight channel. If you're a returning viewer, I appreciate you coming back. Guys, please make sure you hit subscribe and the bell so you know when we do go live. So Gonzalez really has come to fight here, even though he's the B side. You can tell by how he closed that round. He just fired off some real hard shot combinations to the head and to the body. So I think Cordina has to be careful not to let this fight slip away from him. Because Gonzalez could get this simply on volume if Cordina can't figure out how to contain him a little bit better. So let's see what he has for the next round. All right, tell me, you guys, do you watch more MMA fights or do you watch more boxing fights? What's your connection to boxing in general? And if for those of you who would like to support our channel, please consider joining as a member. All you have to do is scroll on the page and click the button that says join. And for under $3 a month, you can get early access to almost all the content. And you get priority replies from me in the comments. You also get some members-only posts and some members-only polls. Okay, here we go. This is turning into a good fight. We're in the 4th round, scheduled for 10. And at this point, Gonzalez is showing us, yes, he is a live dog in this fight, even though he is the B side. He's the foreigner who's been brought in to face the local hometown guy, or hometown, home country, you could say, Joe Cordina. Right now, Gonzalez, oh, nice jab, just buckles. Nice jab by Cordina, just buckles Gonzalez. Gonzalez is no longer a lankier fighter, he's moving around the perimeter. I assume that the matchmakers did a good job here and sussed out Jarrett Gonzalez. Cordina putting up the double high guard, trying to sneak up on Gonzalez. I don't know that that's the best approach for him. Because he jabs, and as soon as he close distance, it falls into a clinch. Darber says I'm more into F1. I do watch MMA and boxing. Okay, cool. Yeah, I am completely ignorant about F1, but I know that those live or those like behind-the-scenes reality shows about F1 has probably gained them some new fans. I know my powerlifting coach got into it, I think, perhaps over COVID by just watching a lot of the reality show. Oh, so here we have Cordina. As soon as Gonzalez closes distance, Cordina starts to grapple a little bit, take an overhook. All right, there we had Cordina open with 2 light body shots, try to come upstairs, and then the grappling begins. All right, let's keep the conversation on combat sport. All right, high double guard by Joe Cordina is just following Gonzalez around as Gonzalez circulates around the perimeter. I really feel like Cordina could do what he's doing now, just try to go to the body a little more. There, he just got in a good right body shot. But we need a little bit more of that so we can freeze Gonzalez in place. All right, welcome to the live stream, guys. We are watching a live boxing fight taking place in Manchester, UK. We are watching the co-main event, Joe Cordina versus Jared Gonzalez of Mexico. And the main event is Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank. This is interesting to me. I think the Matchroom Boxing production team has recruited, it looks like, 3 unofficial judges to score the fight. And I believe these judges are all Matchroom boxers, fighters. Is it, how do you say it? I'm sure, sorry if I'm messing up your name. Anesh Darbar. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. From India. Appreciate you. Thank you for letting me know you subscribe. Please also hit the button so you know when we post new content. Apparently, there's a lot of new viewers recently from India, so I'm so grateful for that. For whatever reason. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Jump back to that. We are in the 5th round, and right away, Gonzalez comes out guns blazing and forces Cordina back against the ropes. Cordina still putting up that high double guard, trying to kind of walk Gonzalez down, but what Cordina needs to do is not what he just did, which is missed to the head with a jab right hand. He needs to go to the body to cut the ring off on Gonzalez, because there's no quitting Gonzalez, and he's able to fire off very rapid combinations. Again, we have Gonzalez circling around to his right along the perimeter of the ring, and we have Joe Cordina firing off single jabs. Sometimes they'll follow the jab with a body shot, and now they fall into a clinch. Okay, there we go. That was a little better from Cordina. Jab right to the body. Another overhand right by Joe Cordina. Now it's got Gonzalez circling back in the other direction. Now I think the power of Cordina is starting to get to Gonzalez, because he's starting to hold a lot more every time distance gets closed. Nice move. Left uppercut, overhand right by Cordina, but again, as soon as it closes up, Gonzalez starts to hold. Now Gonzalez has Cordina in the corner. Getting a little scrappy, as the Brits like to say, or chippy. Oh, nice jab right hand, body shot. So good work by Joe Cordina. He's starting to pick it up and turn the tide in his favor. So Gonzalez's sort of lack of power is starting to cost him. Although right now he just fired off 5 shots in a row on Cordina. Cordina's just covered up. He can't afford to do that. But a very nice right body shot by Joe Cordina. And a right hand to the head. And again, Gonzalez starts to hold. As soon as he knows he's in a little bit of trouble. Right, again, Gonzalez circling around to his right. Double jab right hand by Cordina. Right body shot. Right back up to the head. Jab right hand. And Gonzalez still trying to circle now. Gonzalez looks like he's just in survival mode. Circling, trying to cover up. Maybe he's just trying to yeah, do what he just did, which was make it to that bell. So this, I think Cordina might be able to get the stoppage here in the next round or two. Okay, James Y. So did I mistake MMA with WNBA? Is it legal for women to watch MMA? Not sure why you're asking me these questions, James. We're here to watch this boxing fight that's taking place in the UK. I'll let you answer your own questions. I don't know if you're trying to be funny or you're being rhetorical. Or you're going to be insulting. But yeah, if you're here to discuss fights, that's cool. If you're not, then you probably want to click on someone else's live. Ray, it's your name, I believe. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, here we go with round 6 of 10. Gonzalez moving around. He's the longer, lankier fighter out of Mexico, out of Monterrey, Mexico. Interesting now that Cordina had a great finish to the last round. Looked like he had Gonzalez hurt. But right now, Gonzalez seems to be picking the pace up again. Cordina is just throwing off single shots. I'm not sure if he just figures he knows he has the power advantage. Cordina with the high double guard. So now Cordina's fighting out of more of a sort of half-shelled guard, alternating with just a classic guard. Fight's getting a little chippy, as the Brits like to say, because the fighters are holding and hitting. Okay, so Tawanda Ray, that's how you say your name. Sorry if I mispronounce it. This channel is devoted to boxing and MMA, so you can look on the channel. I have some of my own boxing fights. They have purple thumbnails. The word fight, I chose fight because that includes all fight sports. What's up from South Africa? Very cool. It's one of my goals is to expand and reach more viewers in the continent of Africa. I think for a moment I had some viewers from Nigeria, but in any case, thank you so much for tuning in from South Africa. We're watching Joe Cordina versus Jared Gonzalez, who fights out of Mexico. Cordina fights out of the UK. Right now, it looked like Cordina was starting to hurt Gonzalez in the 5th round, but for whatever reason in the 6th, he starts moving around a little bit more. And is less active. We got Gonzalez bouncing up and down a little bit on his feet, and Gonzalez fires off a rapid-fire 5-punch combination. So I think now that Cordina has tasted Gonzalez's power or lack thereof, I'm not sure if that's why he's dialing back with his volume, but James Y, there's no cosplay on this channel. You probably need to find another channel to pester. All right, so you're from South Africa. Boo? Is it Bui? I don't know. Kemba Bui? Sorry if I mispronounce your name, no diss. From the United States of America. We are live from Southern Cali. Where in South Africa are you from? All right, food for thought. What's the best way to improve footwork? Jump rope. When working on a heavy bag in an 8x10 area, I can only angle off so much. Jump rope, man. You jump rope, you develop all those muscles that help you stay on the balls of your feet. I mean, I can get myself up into zone 5, the highest heart rate range. I can get myself up to zone 5 just by jumping rope, and that'll help your footwork as well. Plus, it develop, like I said, there's so many fine, small muscles in your foot. You need to develop those, and the only way to do that is to be on the balls of your feet all the time, bouncing up and down. Jump rope is probably the easiest way to do that. Okay, thanks for forgiving me. You're in East London. Very cool. All right. So now we are in the 7th of 10 rounds between Joe Cordina and Garrett Gonzalez, who fights out of Monterrey, Mexico. Both orthodox stance fighters, but Gonzalez is a longer, lankier style fighter. And I'm guessing he doesn't have a heck of a lot of crack on his punches, but he does have very rapid fire combinations. And he's clearly in terrific shape. So we got Gonzalez kind of bouncing around and moving around the perimeter of the ring. Cordina's firing off now a single jab here and there. But I really wish he would throw a jab and then something to the body to cut Gonzalez off. Am I southpaw? No, I'm orthodox. Oh my goodness, Gonzalez just snaps Cordina's head back with a fast 1-2. And that's the danger here that Cordina can fall into, is that even though Gonzalez may not have a lot of power, Cordina cannot afford to just, as they say, take a bunch of punches. So right now Gonzalez had Cordina against the ropes for a moment. Cordina was able to work his way off. He's still throwing single jabs here. I don't like that. Another single jab. A minute left here. You need Cordina to start putting punches together. Nice jab, right hook to the body by Cordina. Single jab by Cordina. See, he can't afford to cover up and let Gonzalez just whip off 4 or 5 punches, which is what he just did. Okay, food for thought. I'm glad you appreciate it. Remember, all you guys, please do hit subscribe and hit the bell. That's a cost-free way of showing your appreciation. If you feel so inclined, you're always welcome to gift a jewels if you purchase jewels. Otherwise, you can always do a super chat. Don't forget, you can do super chat or super thanks on one of the videos after this live stream is over. Just click on any video and leave a super thanks. You could also head over to the website buymeacoffee.com and purchase a coffee, I think in increments of $5. But hey, every penny helps, and so if you want to leave a super thanks for $1.99, or you want to leave some jewels on this live stream, that'll help too. All right, here we go. We are heading into the final few rounds of this matchup, lightweight matchup between Garrett Gonzalez and Joe Cordina. I'm not sure why Gonzalez is, oh, there you go. Finally, finally Gonzalez's cornerman took a long time to get into the ring there. I don't know what was up with that. In my opinion, if Cordina can start making more use of a double jab to open up his combinations and work both the head and the body, he might be able to put on an impressive, last few rounds, which is what somebody in his position wants to do, because he is the hometown, he is the A-side, so he wants to close out strong. All right, food for thought. Who do I think is the better boxer between Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway? I just peeked your touch on UFC from time to time. That's a great question. They're both really good boxers. Honestly, even though I would say Poirier is a better classic boxer, in a sense, Max might be a better instinctive boxer. I mean, if you follow boxing, you might be able to get what I'm saying in terms of like just someone who's just trained and does orthodox, like classic boxing combinations. I think that's Dustin Poirier. Max, I feel like in a lot of ways he's an instinctive fighter in general, so his boxing is also a little bit more instinctive. All right, here we go in the is it 8th or 9th round of this 10-rounder? It's 8th round, I think, of this 10-rounder. Again, Cordina kind of following Gonzalez around the ring. As Gonzalez tries to circle around the perimeter. Well, it's just that Poirier, someone taught him all the classic boxing combinations, and he's able to execute them. Max, I feel like, for example, look at the way he slips punches and stuff. That's not something you necessarily can teach. You can practice it, but just the way that Max uses those movements, I feel like it's more instinctive. That doesn't mean he doesn't practice it. It means he practices it a lot, and he sparred a lot to be able to do that. But it's not necessarily like one's better than the other. You know what I mean? It's just a different mindset. I think they're both great technically. Let's put it that way. Oh, nice. Cordina's trying to land some hard body shots here. Gonzalez still light on his feet though, moving around. So again, shows us he's in terrific condition to be able to do this for up to now 8 rounds solid. Nice jab to the head, 1-2 to the body by Cordina. Oh, nice pivot and move around movements by Gonzalez. Cordina seems unfazed, like I said, by Gonzalez's power, so he's comfortable just shelling up a little bit and then finding his moment to fire back. All right, food for thought. Funny you say that because Holloway has said he doesn't spar. Right now he doesn't spar, but that's because I think you can tell from the way he fights, it's not like he never sparred. He put in a ton of hard rounds. Remember, he turned pro at like a really young age, right? I can understand why maybe he says he doesn't spar now, but that's because, remember way back when, who was it? Was it DC or somebody called him on, or I think it might have been Bisping that said, "Hey bro, you look like you're concussed." I think it was the fight where he had to pull out at the last minute. He was going to step in. I can't remember. Was it Khabib or somebody didn't make weight, so Holloway was going to be the replacement at the last minute. But then he wound up having to pull out because of health issues, and it was like maybe the day before during the broadcast that it was either Bisping or DC said, "Hey dude, you look like you're concussed. You better go get checked out." And then sure enough, Max had to get pulled from that fight. In any case, was it from water loading? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, in order to be able to not have to spar during a fight camp, you have to have sparred your what off for years prior to that. Still don't know that I would totally recommend not sparring at all, but I think I would be incredibly selective about who the sparring partners are and what's going to happen in the ring. Like, are we going to just go to war, or are we going to work on stuff? Then that's up to the athlete and the trainer and the other trainer and the other sparring partner. Everybody's got to be on the same page. All right, here we go. Now we're starting to get a fight here in the ring. We got Cordina. Gonzalez is standing a little more still with them. Nice left body shot by Gonzalez. It looked like Cordina was going to protest to the ref that it was low, but it wasn't. It was on his belt line. Yeah, Gonzalez is definitely here to fight. He's not here to run. He's not here to just eat up time by holding. Am I aware of how much Sean Strickland spars? I think that's all Sean Strickland does, right? Is spar, because that's what he loves to do. I can understand fighters like that too. Obviously, you got to be, you can't be like a lightweight. Literally, I mean, it's not like a 125-pound guy can do that. Sean's on the larger side, so he can probably get away with that. The reason I say that is because if you think about it, then a lot of guys that are just in the gym are going to be his size or smaller. All right, nice jab. Shuffle step to body shot by Gonzalez right there. Now Cordina's the one moving around on the outside a little bit. And Gonzalez is the one trying to hunt Cordina down. So at least a brief role reversal here in this fight. We are in the second last round. Okay, now we're back to Gonzalez moving around with Cordina trying to cut him off a bit here. Nice left hook, right hand, left hook combination by Cordina. Less than half a minute to go here in the second last round. Oh, nice weaves under. Nice weaving movements by Joe Cordina with body shots off the weave. Really nice. Okay, we're about to come to the end of this second last round. No quitting Gonzalez. He's really throwing hard. I like how he closes out the round hard, Gonzalez. There we go. Excuse me. Now, any suggestions on how we can get more viewers from the continent of Africa? That's the one continent for sure I have not been able to reach, or as much. Definitely can't reach Antarctica. That's not going to happen, but because I don't think too many penguins are into watching combat sport. They probably don't have very good internet service either. But in any case, yeah, if any of you guys have any thoughts on how to reach more viewers from the continent of Africa, that would be very much appreciated. Okay, we're heading into this final round of Joe Cordina versus Jarrett Gonzalez. So for Cordina's sake, I hope he's able to close out this fight in a strong manner. It's been a good fight. I mean, Jarrett Gonzalez, he came to fight. He's in terrific shape. He throws tons of punches. And he's technically sound. So not much more you could ask for from your B-side, as it were. Nice sharp jab by Gonzalez. Cordina returning the favor. Interesting that Cordina's choosing to be the guy that moves around a little bit now. He's moving to his right, then his left, then back to his right. Double high guard. All right, if you're here watching our live stream, welcome. If this is the first live stream you've joined us on. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming on back. For those of you who enjoy combat sport, please consider hitting the subscribe button and also hit the bell. That way you know when we post new content and when we go live. And as always, if you'd like to show your support, you can leave a super thanks, or you can gift some jewels. Every penny counts, so even if it's just 5 cents, it helps. All right, Cordina with the double high guard. I feel like Cordina wants to be a little more active in this last round. Just let it all out. We're in the second half of this last round now. Cordina's following Gonzalez around that double high guard, and then when they close distance, oh, Gonzalez just whips off a rapid fire punch combination. Not a lot of pop in those punches, but he at least freezes Cordina when he's throwing those rapid fire combos. Cordina kind of enjoying himself here, just moving around a little bit. Double high guard. We're in the final minute of this 10-round fight, 10-round lightweight fight between two orthodox fighters, Joe Cordina versus Jarrett Gonzalez. There's no quitting Gonzalez. He's firing off punches right to the final bell here. Nice series of 3 left hooks. Body by Joe Cordina. And as this fight closes out, Gonzalez lands a nice 1-2. the series of 2 body shots. And that's it. All right, folks. Well, I assume they're going to give the decision to Joe Cordina, but good show by Jarek Gonzalez. I'm sure that the matchroom boxing matchmaker will use Gonzalez again because he puts on a good show as an opponent. But let's wait and hear what the officials have to say. I had it wrong with the previous fight. I thought the opponent, who was Alex Murphy, I thought he kind of eked out a decision there, but they gave it to Fiaz, Aqib Fiaz. All right, so tell me what fights you guys are looking forward to in the month of July. You know, we got a big UFC card coming up in, is it New Orleans, Louisiana, or is it another city within Louisiana? That's going to be Poirier's farewell fight versus Max Holloway. We have Usyk Dubois, the rematch. That's the unified heavyweight championship of the world. And we also have Manny Pacquiao making his return to the ring after a 4-year layoff. He's fighting Mario Barrios for Mario's belt, the WBC belt. All right, we're waiting the official decision here for Joe Cordina versus Jarek Gonzalez. Are you guys going to tune in to Berlanga versus Shiraz? That's an interesting match. I'm wondering if Team Shiraz hasn't bitten off more than they can handle. All right, let's listen for the official particulars, as they say. All right, so one judge gave 10 rounds, 9 rounds, and 8 rounds. Yeah. So one judge gave Joe all 10 rounds, one judge gave him 9, and one judge gave him 8. So it's pretty much a sweep for Joe Cordina. Gonzalez is all smiles and defeat. He knows he put on a good show. He came to fight. He'll make his money, and he'll get used again, as we say, you know, which is not a bad deal. It's not bad if you can continue to get fight offers and make a paycheck. Okay, so with that, Joe Cordina has the WBO version of the lightweight belt. A WBO minor version of the lightweight belt, I should say. Hello, Massive Ginger. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. We are watching Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank card. We just finished watching Joe Cordina defeat Jarek Gonzalez out of Monterrey, Mexico, for a minor WBO lightweight belt. Next up is the main event. That is Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank. All right, are any of you guys familiar with Jack Catterall? Let's see, I don't know, do you guys think he should have won that fight versus Josh Taylor? All right, we are taking a little pause before the main event starts. The boxing commentators are doing a little, as we say, stand-up. Jack Catterall, Jack Catterall, UK fighter. Yeah, Josh is washed. Well, yeah, he didn't look great in his last fight. I mean, kind of rooting for him, but what do you guys think? Former fighters as boxing commentators. Do you like what they have to say better than just those other guys who are not former fighters? Sorry, I can't read your username. For Heat R33S T 33TS. Yeah, check out my channel. Look for the videos with the purple thumbnails. Those are my fights. You think so? Ginger says they're better as commentators. Yeah, former fighters. I mean, I tend to agree. Hi, Kevin. All right, appreciate the respect. Thank you so much. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you know when we do our next live or when we post our next content. Reggie says, I think former athletes as commentators can give good insight on mentality, but oddly enough, they usually aren't the best at technical analysis. So that's interesting. If sometimes, as fighters, you just get tired of watching stuff like this. I mean, when I have to do a breakdown, I will subject myself to watching multiple fights by the same person. And it does take a certain amount of focus and discipline to do the verbal analysis, because on some level, instinctively what you think of a fighter without having to say it out loud or write it down. But when you have to do that, it's like you have to ask your brain to work in another way. And I think maybe that's where some former fighters, former athletes get kind of bogged down and say they just don't want to do that. They just know what they think of the fighter and how they would deal with them, but they don't want to actually sit down and break it down piece by piece and write it out. So it's it's a little tedious, but I know that for me to do a good breakdown, I have to do that. Oh, I just got a new subscriber. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that, guys. And just so everybody knows, you can also show your thanks by leaving jewels on this vertical live stream. That's why I did it vertical. You can also leave a super chat. Every penny helps. You can leave a super thanks on any video. Let's say after this stream's over, you choose to go watch one of my fights or one of the breakdowns I've done in the past. If you liked it, then go ahead and leave a super thanks on that video. I wouldn't ask you to pay for something you didn't value. So if you find value, we would love it if you would show a little monetary support as well. That like I said, every penny helps. Right, Reggie. Yeah, that's why some commentators will be just like, well, this guy sucks. And it's like, well, okay, you got to say a little more than that. Massive subscriber, what? All right, sorry, guys. The comments are going by fast, so I can't quite catch them. Am I on to something? I don't know. Have I done any of the other martial arts? Kickboxing with Benny the Jet Urquidez. Or maybe wrestling, judo. So you don't like the point system for wrestling? Meaning like Olympic style wrestling? I never did wrestling formally. I just did judo, but there's a little bit of carryover. I don't officially do Thai boxing, but I mean, I've joined some classes here and there. You think I'd like it? Well, I like the kickboxing you did with Benny the Jet. It's not Thai boxing, it's his own sort of brand of kickboxing. I've ever hurt someone? I mean, I've dropped a couple people in sparring. Is fighting my full-time job? No. I'm a school teacher by trade. Have you seen the anime Samurai Champion? No, but I've seen, what's it called? Hajime no Ippo. It's about a boxer. I actually think it's pretty legit. Like a lot of what they show in the boxing gym for him training and at the fight, it's actually pretty accurate. So if you're a boxing fan, you could check that one out. But I'll look up Samurai Champion if you think that one's good too. Yeah, I like judo. It's nice for sweeps. Favorite thing for me is the throws. Those are super fulfilling if you can get them. Holy cow. But kick ass. Could schools teach it, Reggie? You're funny. Yeah, there's actually a video about that on this channel. If you scroll down to like judo in Harlem or even some of the fights, they did a little backstory. Could you something me? I don't know what that says. Good boxing anime. Okay, cool. Samurai Warrior. I'll remember that. I'm not sure what you're asking me about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I don't consider Jake Paul a boxer or a fighter. RJ says you're a boxer. Yes. Check out the videos with the purple thumbnails so you can see my fights. Sorry guys if I'm missing your comments. It's just because they're coming so fast. Thank you for putting the comments in there, but it's like, you guys know the text for the comments is like a 4-point font or whatever, so it's like, it's hard to catch them sometimes for me. But YouTube rewards us for doing the vertical live streams because people can drop super chats or jewels on a vertical live, so that's why I'm doing a vertical live. Yeah, I wish there was a way I could have like the comments be somewhere else where it was like bigger font, but you know, that's a technology thing, right? Jake Paul's too cocky. Well, Jake Paul's not a real fighter. I understand he trains, so he's an imitation. He imitates how a fighter should act, maybe. But he's also juiced to the gills, so, and has been from day one or day -10. So like, he's not a fighter. He's good at what he does. Great marketer. What good advice for a boxing combo in MMA? Just classic boxing. Double jab, right hand. 1, 2, 3. Jab, right hand, left hook. Or the reverse of that, right? If you're fighting on a southpaw stance. RJ, it's a movie grab, money grab. Yeah, for sure. You mean Jake Paul? I mean, yeah, and I blame the boxing powers that be for doing that. You know, Showtime opened the door for him. You know, Kevin, come on. Yes, now, Kevin, come on. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate you. You are the best. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to call you Kevin because I don't know what the rest of your name is, but do I know? That's funny, not funny, but no, I don't know that Finnish boxer. Really appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you so much for that. Kevin is fine. Okay, good. Yeah. I know you got to come up with an original like username because like otherwise there's 20 million Kevins out there. So thank you so much for your generosity. Truly appreciate it. Like I said, every penny helps and every dollar certainly helps. So Awesome. Thank you. Please also consider subscribing, and you guys do hit that bell. Yes, Ginger Kevin is a real G, that's for sure. Also, you guys consider joining the channel as a member. Right now, there's only one tier open, and that's the lowest tier that there will be. It's a Bronze World Champion tier. For under $3 a month, you get early access to almost all the content. You'll get some members-only polls where I ask about what fights you're interested in, who you think are going to win, and also when I'm replying to comments on the videos, I definitely reply to members first. At a certain point, hopefully we have so many viewers and subscribers and members that I can only reply to members. So that's what we're driving at. Oh, thank you so much, Moana. Really appreciate it, you guys. Very kind of you guys. Like I said, every penny helps, so it's very generous of you, Moana. Who's my favorite RJ's asking who's my favorite boxer right now. That's a great question. I will not pick myself, because that's not fair. Let's see. I mean, I'm still a Manny Pacquiao fan. I don't know that I would say, I want to say he's my favorite, like, right now, in terms of, like, he's probably one of my favorite fighters overall, but let's see. I don't think that's a fair answer either. Gosh, let me think about that for a moment and get back to you, RJ. Have I ever been, like, in a street fight, and what did you do out of curiosity? Well, not really a street fight, but 2 street altercations where a dude tried to, like, one time grab my purse, and I had it, like, I was in New York, and every woman knows in New York you crossbody your purse, you don't put it on one side, so if it's crossbody, it's harder for them to grab. So this guy tried to grab my purse, and I just held on to it with clamping my elbow to my ribs and just screamed at him in curse words, and he took off. The other time I was, like, heading home, like, the way I knew I shouldn't be. Oh, thank you so much for the streets. You are the best. I really appreciate your super chat. That's so kind of you. So let me jump back to that question about the streets. The second time was I'm going home from the subway in Harlem. I'm going the wrong way. Like, I knew I should not go that way to get from the subway station to my house. I should have gotten off at a different subway station. But in any case, that proved out to be right. So I see, as I'm walking home, it's all dark. There's only street lights. I see this guy sort of walking towards me, and all the street lights are on. So I figure I'm going to walk down the middle of the street, right? Because that way you're harder to corner. And the guy kind of approaches me. He has his hand in his, like, hoodie pocket, and he's got his finger like that. So he's trying to pretend like he has a gun, and he tells me to give him money. And at the same time, with his other hand, he's eating a slice of pizza. So I just, like, yelled at him and cursed at him and walked away. He didn't pursue it. But those are the only 2 times. So there you go. Those are my little street encounter stories. Juana says, I love your content. Thank you so much. I hope you are a subscriber. And I do hope you hit the notification bell so you can see when we're either live or when we post new content. If you love the content, please do consider becoming a member. I am going to add another, at least one more tier of membership, and I'm trying to figure out what additional perks I'm going to offer. Have I been to Korea? No, I have not, Kevin. Not yet. Why not choose violence? That's hilarious. I mean, fortunately, I haven't been put in a position for the streets. Ginger, have you painted the paintings? Yeah, yes, thank you for noticing. Another way to support the channel is you can head over to my my art gallery store and purchase one of these paintings. You'll have to scroll back a bit, I think, but there's some posts with some of these paintings on them, and then the link to the store is there. I think also if you go up to the bio in the banner for the channel, there should be a link to the link tree, and then from there you can get to the store as well. Yeah. How do you become a member? Great question. If you go to the channel page, should be, and scroll up to like where the channel banner is, there should be a button that just says join. If that doesn't work, definitely send me an email or something. I mean, my email is also up there in the bio, and I'll check that out. Can I show the Kevin? Can I show the what up close? Oh, the paintings. Yeah, probably in a moment. That bell sound. Okay. Put a name behind you so you can watch it. Put a mirror behind you so we can watch. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll get myself kicked off YouTube, but thanks for the suggestion. How much is the painting? So they're approximately $30-something US, plus shipping for like an 8x10 size print. So there's like hummingbird, there's the koi fish, there's Joe Louis, there's 2 baby sandhill crane chicks, there's some other ones. I've been lax in updating my page because I do have some additional paintings that I have to upload. Ben Andrew is asking, one time I was in a fight and I jabbed his jaw, then stepped back and right hooked his jaw again, and it knocked him out successfully. Yeah, I believe it. Most people don't know how to box. They're not ready for that. They're ready for very swingy punches. For the streets stole my wallet. You're funny. And For the Street says, what the hell? Yeah. I don't know how you guys steal virtual wallets. You steal your coin. What is that? Coinbase? Ginger, every time. Okay, thanks for the compliment. Ben says I was in a corner, so I had to. Got it. Could I box you for free? No, I couldn't. I'm in the U.S. in Southern California. One time I was in a fight for my friend, and we won. And then you fought your friend? That's crazy. Reggie Watts says I'm British, so boxing is just way bigger here. I believe it. That explains a lot. Explains why. I actually made a video about why I like British boxing better than U.S. boxing at the moment, and there's a bunch of reasons, but you can tell it's way bigger. Like, I don't know what happened in the U.S., but things just really fell by the wayside. One really telling sign was, I'm sure you guys have heard of the New York City Golden Gloves. They used to be one of the most prestigious amateur boxing tournaments to win in the U.S., and that just died out, like maybe over a decade ago. I'm not sure if it was due to lack of interest or if there was some other politics involved, but it's just such a shame that great boxing institution of the New York City Golden Gloves just evaporated. So now they rebranded this thing and they call it the Ringmasters Tournament, but it's absolutely not the same thing. All right, For the Street says I'm not British. Okay, well let's just be nice to each other. Mr. Z says something or something. Yo, hi, but I respect the boxing culture. For the Streets, yes. Okay, that's cool. Let's be nice to each other on this live stream, guys. How are you doing, Ryan? All right, we are waiting for Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank. This will be interesting. I don't know anything about Harlem Eubank as a fighter. I am a Jack Catterall fan, so that's really why I wanted to do this live. How far away should you be if you're in an MMA fight? Kind of depends if you favor striking more or you want to grapple. What do you think of my bicep? Haha. Yeah, let's keep it civil, Kevin. I agree with you. I don't have a moderator right now. Sometimes there is a guy who one of my viewers will come on and be a moderator. Name drop. Okay. Ryan, I'm good, thanks. Great. Ben Andrews. Striking. So if you want to be out, like, kicking is obviously the furthest distance, right? Although, if you want to surprise shoot in, you could be even further than you would be from kicking distance. So striking, yeah, you want to be at a distance, and you know what, an MMA fight favors that because you're starting at distance. So if you want to keep it, you're in a position to keep it at striking distance if you want to. So Ginger says, I love British people, but thank God I'm not one myself. Okay, well, look, like I said, let's just keep it on the boxing and MMA and not worry about politics and stuff. Okay, thanks. That was hell of a lot. All right. Yeah, the ring walk. I'm watching Harlem walk out right now in his white. I like his ring outfit. It's a nice outfit. Very designer looking. All right, Ryan, let's keep it civil. No, we're not going to do that, Ryan. All right, I don't want to block you, Ryan, but keep it on boxing and MMA. Keep it clean. All right. I like the walkout song, too. It's talking about Harlem Eubank. Alright guys, let's just chill and watch this fight. I am watching Harlem Eubank's back right now, just to give you context about the delay in the stream. I'm just grateful that the stream's working because I did live stream the previous fight to this and then lost my stream, so I had to stop that one and then restart it, and now we're here. This has been going well for exactly an hour, so fingers crossed the stream keeps working, right? Alright, now we're watching Harlem Eubank in his nice white outfit. We're looking at him face forward as he walks right towards the ring. Sam Sulek? I've heard the name, but I don't know. Sam Sulecki, maybe? Okay, now I see Harlem Eubank in the ring, so that's how far behind my stream is, Reggie. Alright, now the ring announcer is announcing Jack Catterall. What do you guys think of the Terminator as the ring announcer? I actually, encountered this dude when he's from New York. And he's had those Terminator things on for decades. And it's kind of skeeves me out a little bit. That means grosses me out a little bit, but whatever. I mean, that's his unique look, but it's one of those that I don't get. I don't know why a dude like that would want dreads, but hey, to each his own. Happy 4th of July. Thank you for the streets. Yes, happy 4th to all my U.S. friends out there, and happy July 1st to any Canadian friends out there. Don't know what other national holidays are coming up, but I'm glad we're all able to come together on this live stream and share a boxing fight together. Interesting choice of walkout songs for two Brits, right? Some very sort of classic American music. Happy July. June is finally over. Was June rough for you? RJ saying, who am I expecting to win? I mean, I'm a Jack Cateral fan, so I'll go with Jack, but I thought he won against Josh Taylor as well, and they gave it to Josh, but anyways. Ryan says pound for pound Topuria. Topuria is looking great at the moment. I don't know if he's number one, but he's definitely a pound for pound. June was a tough month, yeah. Well, I'm glad it's July then. I'll be happy that it's July, just for you. Jack, okay. Failed your bench press? Were you competing or just like, or are you referring to training? Ben Andrews says, Habib or McGregor, Habib. And yes, I said it that fast. That quickly. Wow, okay, Ginger says June was tough for real. Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that, guys. Yeah, I personally had kind of a rough June. So yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed that July goes better. Oh, darn. You say you tore your hamstring? Doing your bench, are you really into benching and powerlifting? Check out Scott Mendy. He was my powerlifting coach. He also tore his hamstring benching. Competing in Thailand, actually. Okay, man, you know what? Like, Mendy he told me he tore his hamstring benching. But the point is, your hamstrings and your glutes are supposed to be engaged. So at least you know your muscles were engaged, right? But dang, tearing a hamstring, doing that, I shudder. Yeah, sometimes I feel like when I'm benching, like I am gonna tear something or my knee's gonna pop or I don't know. Sorry guys, the comments are going by fast. I can't quite catch him. Scott Mendelson. He goes by Mendy. So if you search that Mendy, it should show. He's one of the first people to bench over 1,000. Paddy the Batty is hella cool. Yeah, I like him. He's personal. Ginger saying, do I know him? Meaning Scott Mendelson? Yeah, he was my powerlifting coach. I trained at his gym. Especially for the glutes. Okay. Who I got? Canelo Crawford. Great question, RJ. I'm gonna side with Canelo just based on size, but Reggie Watts, Cordina pieces Gonzalez up. Yeah, well, yeah, he did. MENDELSON. But just Google Mendy and bench press, and it should pop up. Ben Andrews, what MMA glove brand should I get for gloves? Oh man, that's a tough one. There's a brand here in the U.S. Oh gosh, what the heck is it called? You know what? Can you message? Send me an email or just post a comment, and I'll look it up and find it and let you know. I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out. You're from Liverpool? Is that right? If you're a Scouser, you're from Liverpool? Search Mendy, MENDY, and bench press. He's the guy Joe Rogan showed a little clip because his ex-wife used to slap him a lot before he benched. That was his warm-up, or that's how he got like revved up for his bench press. Catterall, huge hometown favorite. Yeah, for sure, Reggie Watts. Kevin says raggedy. I kind of remind you of his Zendaya. I don't know how to take that. Okay, Tom Holland. I don't know what that's referring to. Okay, I'm not sure what you guys are explaining here, but anyways. All right, Bo, we're here to watch this boxing fight, Catterall versus Harlem Eubank. All right, hang on, guys, because my stream just froze on me. All right. I do not know who coached Zendaya. All right, good. The stream's working. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it keeps working. All right, the crowd goes crazy when they announce Jack Catterall. Okay, Reggie Watts says Catterall's going to mop Eubank. You heard it here first. Okay, I'll give you the props for that, Reggie. if that how this goes down. All right, the men touch gloves, head back to their respective corners. So now I'll let you know exactly when the bell rings so you know how far behind my stream is. That was the bell, so Reggie could tell how lagging my stream is. All right, we got Catterall fighting out of Southpaw and Harlem fighting out of Orthodox. Can I show the fight, Ginger? No, I can't. I don't want to get, kicked off YouTube and lose all the effort I put in, Any Brits in the chat? I do believe there are. Reggie, white trunks feels like such bad luck. I don't remember last time I saw a fighter win in white trunks. Haha. One of the first people I met in the boxing gym told me pink is a bad luck color for boxing. That's why fighters never wore anything pink. But lately it's become all the rage, right? Especially fluorescent pink. All right, so we got Harlem doing the half shell, trying to be a little showy here, but I don't think that's gonna play in his favor. So he's moving around, trying to feint. Goes for a nice jab right hand. But notice how he's flying back a little bit too much. I like how Catterall's just maintaining his composure and not getting fazed by any potential antics by Eubank. Reggie says, I'm sure Prince Nazim must have fought in pink at least once. Well, he did the leopard skin, like fake leopard skins pattern trunks. I noticed a lot of young guys started copying him when he did that. And that became a thing for boxing trunk manufacturers, at least here in the US, to try to copy those because kids wanted to be just like Prince Nassim. Okay, so for the street says white is bad luck. You know what? I got white sparring gear, but that's just so the blood shows up better. Yeah, white is def bad luck. Well, for the streets, I've never worn white trunks in the ring for a fight. Favor black for sure. Have I ever tried rugby, Kevin? No, I have not. Sounds a little too dangerous, which is ironic considering I'll do boxing and MMA, but not rugby. Reggie says, yeah, the leopard print was incredible. Yeah, it became like a must-have staple for all the boxing trunk manufacturers after the scene. All right, here we got Eubank doing a lot of gesturing and posing. Catterall, again, just nice and patient, looking for his openings, lands a nice sharp jab there. Catterall. Oh, and almost lands a short straight right hand flush. So it looks like Harlem is just throwing out all these feints just to kind of mentally overload Catterall, but Catterall's not falling for it, so it's not going to, maybe, it doesn't look like it's working. All right. Has it started? Yes, James. That was the first round just ended between Harlem Eubank and Jack Catterall. So Eubank is certainly a jittery fighter, isn't he? By the way, guys, thank you so much to everybody who left a super chat. Every penny counts. Truly appreciated. Really appreciate you guys' generosity. So if anybody else is so inclined, you can just make a super chat on these vertical live streams. If anybody has purchased jewels, apparently you can gift a jewel on a vertical live stream. So if you're enjoying the live or you like some of the other content we've posted, please feel free to leave a super thanks here on this live, or super chat rather, or a jewel. All right, here we go. Second round underway. Again, Harlem doing a lot of gesturing, pointing his hand up, pawing out. So we're not really getting into that southpaw orthodox jab cancellation thing, just because Harlem is just moving his jab hand around so much, and he's going into his semi-half shell, as I like to say, uh, with his right forearm over his chest, and he's sort of, okay, now he's really doing a lot of excessive motion with his jab hand. Catterall is just being patient, looking for his opening, trying to get that jab straight left to land. I think I called it a short straight right by accident at the end of last round, but it was a short straight left. All right, Reggie says, looks like he doesn't know how to enter. Eubank looks like he's struggling with closing distance against the southpaw. Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to imitate a fighter, but not really mix it up. Really not using his height and reach advantage to his favor. Completely misses with his right hand there. And Jack does the right thing and comes right back with a counter jab right hand. Nice jab to the body by Jack. See, all Jack has to do is not look at Harlem's jab hand. All he has to do is focus on his neck or his upper chest, and he won't be fazed by all that. He won't overload his brain with all that hand motion by Harlem. Cateral circling around to his left. Not so sure about Eubank's coach. Do I think Neon is going to box right? That is so funny. I don't know who this Neon kid is, but he wormed his way into Manny Pacquiao's camp, right? I made a couple of posts about him hanging out with Manny at the Nat's Thai food restaurant. Eubank's face is starting to get marked up already. Well, it looks like he does this like weird hand movement and then just rushes right in like he just did with a jab right hand. So, okay, what's that double hand block that he's doing? Very strange. So much wasted energy on these left hand movements. On Jack, just lands a perfect 1-2. Jack getting a little cute by dropping his hands down to his thighs and moving side to side. But to be honest, Jack doesn't have to do much else. Because for all that energy expenditure, Harlem hasn't landed anything. Silverback. I'm the most Asian American? I don't know what that means. But I am Asian American. Hopefully you're just making an observation, not trying to be insulting or anything. Eubank. Reggie Watts says Eubank looks like he's overcompensating for a lack of confidence. Very flashy. Right, well, he's overcompensating for something, but I guess my point is, like, that should not be tolerated in the gym. So his trainer should have checked that a long time ago, because presumably he would do that in sparring too. I don't know. Don't know how things went down, but... Okay, now at least he opened up by just firing 3 rapid-fire jabs. They didn't connect, and they weren't even in distance to connect. Now Harlem is doing a lot of rolling and weaving. Yeah, to me it looks like Harlem copied all the showboaty stuff, but he didn't work on his fundamentals. So honestly, yeah, I've never watched Harlem Eubank fight before, so I have no idea what type of competition he faced. No idea what his go-to movements are. Okay, again, another double jab right hand by Catterall. All Catterall has to do here is stick to fundamentals, and he should be able to get past Harlem Eubank. Oh goodness, turn into an MMA fight here. Takedown for Jack Catterall. Reggie says Harlem Eubank is doing more Tai Chi than boxing. Yeah, with all that. You could hear all the Bruce Lee sounds going on in the background while he's doing that, right? Reggie Watt says lots of floating hand movements, but very few punches landed. Yeah, exactly. So now that double shell with all the upper body movement by Eubank, not a fan. I mean, you should only do that if it's absolutely necessary. And now he's just running at Jack Catterall throwing punches. So he's fighting like an amateur MMA fighter. Very perplexing here. I don't know if Eubank is he another rich boy? So his trainer just figures this is a money maker. Just go along. Don't upset the apple cart. Don't upset the gravy train. Just be a yes man and, you know, collect my 10%. So I'm not going to tell Harlem anything he doesn't want to hear. Okay, this business with the half shell, he has no business doing that because he doesn't have the fundamentals down. If I knew he had fundamentals down, I would accept him doing a half shell like that. Kind of revving up behind Jack, I could believe it. Yeah, that makes sense, Reggie. Hard to get behind Harlem Eubank in this, because he's not doing anything of significance. He's just, you know, he could be an actor pretending to be a boxer in a movie, maybe. But that skill set's not going to get you through an actual fight. Reggie says, I think they thought they could catch Catterall on a downward trajectory after his last performance. Looks like it was probably too much too soon. Yeah. Okay, and I don't know what you're asking for, but I'm gonna delete that one. Are they playing Neil Diamond in the background there? Love that. Jack Catterall with the reversal takedown, for sure. See Caroline is a boxing classic. Yeah. I love it. Love it when the crowd sings along to that. Ant says, do I think Tony Ferguson should retire? Yeah, I think he should have retired maybe a couple fights ago. Unless, and this is a huge unless, he really just revamps himself. But the thing is, no matter how much David Goggins you do, that's not going to help you. And Goggins should have told him that. You know, he doesn't need David Goggins. He needs to get back to basics with the fighting. There's more than enough in MMA for you to fill your whole day and then still not get everything done that you want to get done. So, I mean, Tony could maybe fight a few more times, but he needs a huge regroup. He needs to search really deep inside himself and figure out if he still wants to do it. Because that's the only, you can't just do it the way he's been doing it, because that's not work. Gotta make a huge bunch of changes. The takedown was hilarious, Reggie. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Where am I from? V-Rad is asking. Southern California, United States of America. Ben, why do you have to make a customized mouth guard? You don't. I mean, you could just buy a boil and bite. It's customized by you. Shouldn't cost you more than $5 from the gym. If you bought a pack on your own, you could buy a 10 pack for $10, so it'll cost you $10 each one. They wear out, but then that's why you got the 10 pack. And fighting, what age you lose it since it's a young man's game? Hard to say. It depends on how well you take care of yourself. It takes on what type of fights you've been on, what types of sparring you do, because those things can wear you out. If you take good care of yourself and you do everything on the other end, that can buy you a little more time. Ben says, hi. Thank you so much, Ben. How long does it take for them to wear out? Depends, Ben, on how much you bite down on them. You don't need them unless you're sparring, in my opinion. Some people like to wear a mouthpiece all the time. It's pointless. Do I think Mike Tyson threw his fight against Jake? I think they may have had an agreement up front. Sorry guys, dog going crazy outside. Okay, we got a minute. It's kind of annoying. We got a minute left, less than a minute left in this fourth round. Hopefully this neighbor of mine just keeps walking with their dog and gets it out of here. All right, nice jab left hand by Jack Catterall. I mean, Jack can win this fight simply with a jab, double jab, straight left. He doesn't really need to do much else because Eubank is just so ineffective. I mean, you're not going to get any points for doing all these little funny footwork movements. Problem with Harlem Eubank is he's fallen in love with himself too much. That's the type of person that would do this stuff. Who I got, Canelo or Crawford? I think I did already answer that. I said right now Canelo, just because of the size difference. Wait, Jake isn't a real boxer. Is he like an actor? He's a YouTuber. He's a genius YouTuber. He's juiced up to the gills. He's figured out how to train as much as he barely needs to get in the ring. And you know, props to him for making so much money and helping other people make some money. Reggie says boxing scorecard 40-36 for Catterall. Dance scorecard 40-36 for Eubank. Yeah, that's about right. I can't believe this dude sitting ringside gave 2 rounds to Eubank. For what? It doesn't matter. Alright, well, I hope Catterall can do something dramatic here, only because it's getting annoying watching Harlem Eubank. This is one of those where, have you guys heard the saying garbage in, garbage out, which used to refer to computer programming, right? If you put garbage into the computer, it's only going to spit garbage back out at you. Well, I believe that too for your own computer up here, so I don't like watching crappy fights only because I don't want that going in here and being stored. And says he's big, he's a size bully who handpicks his opponents, Jake Paul. Yeah, for sure he handpicks his opponents, if you want to call them opponents, right? Like, oh, nice one too by Jack Catterall. Now Jack's starting to get a little cute and bounce around himself. Okay, so it looks to me like in this fifth round, Jack's starting to find a home for his left hand here. Jab to the head, jab to the body. Harlem tries a jab to the body, which lands on the belt line. Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked at Team Eubank. Looks to me like they're just along for the money ride because, you know, his lack of fundamentals is a little bit appalling, frankly. Reggie says, I'm surprised by these DAZN scorecards. Yeah, me too. They all went 38-38. I don't know how they scored any rounds for Eubank. 100%. I mean, I'd give it all to Catterall. It's supposed to be effective aggression. What Harlem has shown us is ineffective showboating. Jason says, let's get a 360 now. We're not going to do that. Alright, sorry guys, my stream is freezing up a little bit. Hopefully it straightens itself out. Apologize for the delay. Your stream too? I think it's on DAZN's end. How annoying. Well, thanks for letting me know though, Reddy. That's helpful. For sure. Come on, you guys. Get it together, DAZN. I'm glad that dog left with its owner. Reggie says they're not really known for the quality. Yeah, unfortunately. I've heard with some other big fight cards, it's just gone completely. It's been really bad, right? Yeah, I'm still frozen. Reggie, let me know when you get yours back. You're back? Okay, cool. Hopefully mine shows up in a moment. Yeah, Cordina won. Jesus M is asking if Cordina won, and the answer is yes. Deservedly so. The guy before that, was it Fiaz? I wasn't so sure that he should have been given a nod. I do understand his opponent came in or on 2 weeks' notice or something. Hi, Jesus. Thank you for joining us again. Reggie says came back in 15 seconds left in the round. They're just in their corners at the moment. Reggie said round 6 started. Okay, darn. Yeah, I'm still frozen here. I'm working on getting another stream going. Alright, we will try this again. Sorry guys, just bear with me. Apologize for the delay. Okay, here we go. Alright, so we're just over 2 minutes left in the 6th round. Alright, we're back. The wrestling is back, ha ha ha. Yeah, okay. Oh, nice, again, nice jab, straight left by Catterall. He's finding a home for his jab and for his straight left. Right? Harlem gets off a double jab and then falls straight into, like Reggie said, into the grappling. Cateral probably should have rolled that for a takedown right at the start of the round. That's funny. Alright, again, Harlem with the half shell and circling away. Again, it's like I said, it's like an orange belt trying to do high-level black belt competitive movements. It's just not appropriate for him to be doing all this stuff. You know, show me you can box properly first. Jack doing the right thing by just being patient. Nice. Jab, left hand to the body by Jack. Jab upstairs by Jack. Catterall set a beautiful trap in the corner. Catterall trying to, Eubank trying to sneak one in from behind. Punch. Oh, let's see the cut. The referee's warning them. Yeah, Reggie, I can't see the cut just yet. Wow, real admonishing by the ref. Nice poke to the body by Jack. Oh. Cateral throws Harlem to the canvas. Ref waves it off. They're back center ring. Reggie says it's a nasty cut from the clash of heads. Damn. Yeah, well, certainly clash of heads can happen when you got a righty-lefty matchup. It might be a stoppage. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Well, if they stop the fight due to the cut, then they have to go to the scorecard. because we're past the 4th round. Yeah, that is pretty nasty. So obviously my stream is behind yours. I'm just now seeing Jack in the corner with his cut man working on that. At least it looks like this cut man is a competent fellow. And more than likely he has the correct medicines in his kit. So yeah, he's doing the right thing. Cleaning up the fighter. And obviously I'm not privy to what medicine he's applying there, but just from the way he's doing this, I can tell he knows what he's doing, so my assumption would be that he does have the correct medication. He's applying pressure, that's what you need to do for the cut. You want to take all the time that you have in that slightly under 60 seconds to apply pressure, which is what he did. Again, I still can't see the cut. Oh yeah, doctor taking a look. Oh no, Reggie is saying. Alright, so they're letting the fight go. A little more conversation in the corner there. I don't know what that was about between the ref and somebody. Yeah, continuing now. Phew, okay. Alright, still talking. Officials talking with the referee. I'm sure both fighters want to get this going. Oh my goodness! The ref's waving it off. I thought they were going to let it go. What happened? Well, obviously somebody said, no, we're going to stop the fight. Jack is like, what's going on? Eubank runs to the corner, jumps on the turnbuckle, flexes for the crowd. Yeah, I don't know. You tell me, Reggie. I have no idea what happened. Somebody at the ringside stopped it. It wasn't the doctor. So it looks like the doctor got overruled. That's crazy. Hopefully they don't rob Jack. Because the rule is, since it went past 4, it's supposed to go to the scorecards. I can't see how you'd possibly say that Harlem Eubank won that. Unless they filled out the scorecards ahead of time. It is a WBA minor belt, so I know a lot of people feel like, what are these stupid 10-round fight belts for? And the answer is, they're not for themselves, they're for what they get you next, which is, it justifies you being thrown in there for a world title fight or interim world title fight. You know, they have so many layers to these belts now that it just allows you to go from, you know, why do you have pre-K? Why do you have, here in the United States, we have something called pre-kindergarten, and then we also have something called transitional kindergarten. So these are 2 steps below kindergarten, which is typically for a 5-year-old. All right. Yeah, Reggie, I agree with you. I don't know what the heck just happened. Clearly a cut happened. I thought the doc was going to let it go. I thought Jack's cornerman, cut man did a great job. But it's in a really, I can see it now, it's in a really bad spot because it's right over the eyeball, right? So it's going to drip down. Cutman did his best to close it, which he did. But maybe somebody else overruled the doctor. If Eubank gets the scorecard, it's going to get pretty nasty in the ring. If Eubank gets a scorecard, it was fixed from the get-go. You know what I mean? And I'll feel really bad for Jack if that happens. That looks to me like it must be, like, because it's like a similar cut to the one that Tyson Fury had in his can. So, again, lefty-righty, it would have and hitting the bottom part of your upper eyeball socket. I don't know how else that cut happened. You know, maybe Jack was kind of leaning forward and Harlem brought his head up and it hit it. Yeah, let's hope they do the right thing here and they scored this correctly for the rounds that we had. Yeah, Eddie's wincing as he looks at Jack's cut. Well, Harlem also has a cut, but his cut is on the eyebrow, right on the eyebrow itself, right over here. Eddie Hearn's face, yeah, exactly, Reggie. It's exactly what I just said. So I didn't see that initially. You're correct. Both fighters have a cut, but Harlem's is on the actual eyebrow. It's sort of more hidden, whereas Jack's is like on the actual skin underneath. So I don't know if that's the reason why they stopped it, because both guys have a cut. I don't know. I mean, if the doctor is willing to let it go, I don't understand why they overruled the doctor. I don't know why Eubank thinks he won. Do you guys think Eubank won? I don't think he won. We're not scoring someone who can imitate a fighter. We're supposed to be scoring the actual fight. All right. Let's hear from the Terminator. All right, here we go, guys. Reggie says leave a stop because how the cut was. 69-65 once, 69-66 twice. Good, good. El Gato, they gave it, good. Thank you, they gave it to Jack. All right, boxing got something right. Yes. Yeah. Reggie, I'm with you. I'm so glad they didn't rob Jack. I feel like he's gotten a raw deal a couple of times, at least a couple of times that we know about, right? Justice, haha. Yeah, exactly. Good. Eubank, Harlem Eubank needs to go back. His trainers need to be more honest and help him develop better fundamentals. That's my takeaway from this fight, having never seen Harlem Eubank and not really having much interest in him as a fighter. He looks like he just got out of the amateurs, to be honest, and not even elite level amateurs. But all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate all the generosity today on this live stream. Again, please do consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. That way you know when we do post content. If you would like to be a real avid member of this fight channel, consider joining. It's only $2.99 a month, and you get early access to a lot of the content. I can't give you early access to everything just because YouTube won't let me. And you get definite priority in terms of me replying to your comment. Thanks for the love. I really appreciate that. And I am considering adding another level of membership for a little bit more per month. And I'm not quite sure yet how I'm going to do that, like what I'm going to provide in return for the higher price point. It may be a postcard of my artwork. I'll have to figure that out. But again, thank you so much for your support. Remember, you can always leave a super chat on these vertical lives. You can gift jewels on a vertical live, or after the stream's over, you can head over to any video and leave a super thanks. Or at any time at all, whether you're watching the videos on YouTube or not, you can head over to buymeacoffee.com and purchase a coffee for $5 US. Like I said, every penny matters though, so if that $5 US is a little bit out of your price range, feel free to leave the super chat, super thanks, or gift some jewels. I think the jewels are like only 5 cents a piece, but you buy them in lots of 100. I'm not sure how that works. Okay. Those DAZN cards were way off. Yeah, okay. Well, they were really, really way off. Thank you so much for the stream, Reggie. Yeah, thanks you for joining the stream, Reggie. I really appreciate it. You subscribe. I appreciate that. I hope to catch you next time. Yeah, please do make sure you hit that bell so you know when we're here. All right. OE says hi. Hi. All right. Great stream. Thank you so much, Reggie. I really appreciate you joining us. And we'll look for you on the next one. Probably, I don't know about next weekend, but maybe the next weekend after that, July 19th, for sure, right? We got a bunch of big fights coming up. Definitely got to do Usyk Dubois 2 and Manny Barrios. All right, guys, so have an awesome rest of your weekend, and we will see you the next time. I appreciate all the love.